Marsh.
Hey, what's going on? So, I listened to this beat a couple times before listening to it now, and I think like the main thing I noticed with this shit's hard actually, and we all thought that Gesman right here too. But the main thing I'll say is kind of like the issue is the sounds are cool, the drums are good, and honestly, it's good overall. But one thing is that it's like it's busy, but it should be, but it needs to build up into that. So the way that there's like the reversed, those like that kind of like reverse string synth, and also the like kind of key sound should kind of each have their own part. So that lower kind of mid key sound, I think, should have its own part for like 4 bars, and then build up to drop with the reverse strings for another 4 bars. So there's kind of like movement and variation in the beat, because you're kind of giving everything away like right from the jump. Then there's no variation in the beat except that little breakdown. So I think if you just create more like little 4 bar sections and things that'll keep like really if a rapper is doing it, it'll keep them more interested in the beat, because it's not just the same loop the whole time with the same sounds, and create some like real movement inside of it. I don't know, that'll just really help with the energy, because really the levels of it are cool. And like I said, the sounds are cool. It's just you're really giving everything away straight from the jump. Also, you had mentioned the about making sure everything has its own place, which is probably the not an issue, but kind of like a topic that is more on my mind when it comes to mixing more than anything, because vocals take up all the space. So like for example, on the EQ, like the vocals sit from here to here, so everything that's in the middle can really kind of clog it up. And not only to create space for the vocals is important, but to not have the sounds mashed together. Like as an example, on this beat I was making, and pretty much anything. So I'm using a sample here, not synth, but it's kind of the same idea. But on this track right here, which is just this melody, you could tell that I'm rolling off the bass on the actual melody, so it's not getting in the way of the sub, because the sub takes up so much more energy and headroom than like every other kind of instrument. So and that's a way to kind of separate everything out and give it its space. Is like you can't hear any of this stuff down here too much in the sample. So this is all where the sub bass would be. As you can see here, this is the sub bass, which is all sitting below 100. So if you're able to separate that out, it's already going to stop from clogging it up. Now, if you have 2 sounds, like that reverse string and the keys that are going on in your beat, I would take one, like the key type sound, and kind of like band pass it, and then give that string sound, which is a little bit higher, a different EQ over here so that they're not overlapping too much. And then you can also use things that are like stereo imaging. Like I use a lot of Waves plugins, but like the S1 Imager, I think Fruity Loops has like an imaging thing too, where you could take the other sound and spread it out so it gets pushed to the sides, and then you can have the more like mid-range key sounds stay in the middle, so that it creates the space for both to kind of coexist. But that would just help keep them separate and give everything its own space. So like in any music, giving every instrument its own space is just going to help fill out the whole spectrum on the EQ better than anything. No, I won't talk to you. That's players. But so that's really the main thing I'm hearing. So creating space is just the biggest issue, to have like a clean mix, to have your snares smack, your drums smack, your kick drum smack. You can do the same thing with your kick drum and your sub with this kind of EQing to keep everything out of the way. What's up, Perps?
What you doing, big dog?
You outside?
I'm gonna pull up. I'm getting some weed right now.
Alright, just let us know we're here.
Okay, cool.
Alright. I'll listen to that beat one more time, see what's going on. So your kick drum, it's smacking, it's not interfering with the sub bass too much. I like the way that you got your drums kind of panned out in that little breakdown part. I would almost say too, as far as it comes to leveling, you could turn down all the tracks in the song a little bit. Probably it sounds like you're kind of getting close to the red. So if you were to take all your tracks, you could see like in my beats here how every single track on the side right here are all -7. So I just took everything, and I know in Free Loops it's so different, but I just turned down all the volumes. When like I'll make the beat and it'll be redlined, but then I'll turn down everything like 6, 8, 10 dB, so then I can go like back to just my snare drum and turn it up without it redlining and have it like smack, and go to my kick drum and have it smack over everything else, because when you bounce the beat, it's going to be back at the right volume. So if you really work like in the green, it's really going to help keep not only just the sounds kind of separated more, but it'll make it so your kick drum and your snare can really like punch through really hard and have a lot of like dynamics and really like smack. That'll be the biggest thing, I think. Like the Effectrix is cool, you can hear what's going on. But yeah, if you could separate these two sounds that are going on right there, it would be cool, because I like both those sounds, but I don't like hearing them the whole time. I'm not gonna lie. It just kind of keeps it from evolving. And like having a beat that's gonna evolve is just gonna keep everybody interested. The rapper, people listening, it'll sound more fire to you, pretty much everybody. So we're rocking with it though. I'm gonna try to download that. I think Sizzle might even like that. So yeah, bro. Sounded pretty good overall. Just like, I think just look into separating the sounds through EQing, and then when you do EQ them, one more thing too, I always kind of push it with a compressor afterwards, so it can kind of sit above the rest of the sounds. So I'll have it compressed to catch peaks and turn up the overall volume, because I'm not sending it this bass that's down here anymore. I'm not sending it this extra high crap. I'm just getting the parts of the sound that I like, and then kind of bringing them out. And you can do that with saturation too, like just a distortion plugin and EQ. You can really bring out the sounds and help separate them and like identify them from themselves. And even your bass drum too. I don't know what a lot of your other beats be sounding like, but you know, I'm sure you know that saturating your 808, your bass, you can like turn down the actual volume of the bass, so it's not eating up all your headroom, because the bass takes up so much energy, like for the headroom, like I've been saying, and then use saturation to kind of add the harmonics to make it sound louder without actually being louder, because it brings kind of the upper frequencies that you can actually hear, not just feel, out of the bass. Can always help too without clouding up the bottom. So, yeah, honestly, it's cool, and I'd really like that beat if you're able to separate those two sounds out. I think it would be good. It's good the way it is. Could be better though. So definitely liking the way it sounded. Definitely going in the right direction, and just keep you know, trying to keep them sounds apart from each other a little bit, and you know, I assume everything else you got's pretty dope. So definitely look forward to hearing more, bro.